All right, here we are with our edition of Bookkeepers on Fire with Beth and Kaczmarczyk. I hope I
Yes,
got that right.
we've been practicing how to
I
speak.
had to practice. Thank you so much. So, Beth and I've known for like almost since I started my virtual bookkeeping firm. She was one of the first people I met online, and we've been going along, following each other through this whole journey we've been on. So I'm super excited to have her on today. I was like bit bugging her since we began. We got to get you on. We got to get you on, and she
What's funny is
finally
she's always in
agreed.
the chat.
Yes,
I'm in
she's
the
always
chat.
in the chat,
We finally got her on the show.
and she's a bud. So yeah,
Moving Bud,
so
of
she has to
course.
come on. Yep.
And
So
she
very
lives.
excited to have you on.
Well, you're in what?
With
Where are you?
St.
Saint.
Augustine.
Yeah,
St.
she's in
Augustine,
Saint
Florida.
Augustine. So she's about what, hour and a half north of me in Saint Augustine, the oldest city in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember we went there when I was on a vacation when I was 18. That's why I moved to Florida.
That's funny.
Oh my God, they're wearing shorts in December.
oh, there you go.
So it's your fault. But we're thrilled you're here. And Donna and I just got back for a week at Scaling New Heights. And I don't know if you've caught our episodes from the floor as we were doing Scaling New Heights. And of course, Donna and I come back and we both got sick. So here we are talking to Beth. And I'm so thrilled, Beth Ann, I'm so thrilled you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Beth Ann, you were telling us earlier so tell what you do, and then we're going to talk about the tech stack and this new time management thing you're doing.
So I'm Beth Ann, and I run Beth Ann Bookkeeping, and I've had my firm about 8 years or so. I don't know. Like it's kind of funny, like how can I tell my like story of how I became a bookkeeper?
Go ahead, tell it.
So like I went to school for business, and when I got out of school I graduated in '08, where nobody could find a job. And so I found a job for a financial advisor doing like data entry,
Uh-huh.
and nobody wanted to touch QuickBooks. They're like, "Oh, can you do this?" And I was like, "Okay," and I like taught myself basically. And from there I was like, "Oh, I like things with numbers." So I went and got like a bookkeeping certificate at a local college,
Uh-huh.
and then I worked as at a restaurant, doing their bookkeeping as like a full charge bookkeeping. And
Okay.
then when I was there, I had vendors asking, "Oh, do you do bookkeeping on the side?" And I was like, "Well, I do now." And then the restaurant was on the beach, and they opened a jet ski rental on the property,
Uh-huh.
and they asked me if I could do their books, and so I did his. And now he has two businesses. He has two boat businesses, and it kind of just grew from there.
It's amazing. Once you find one, and then they tell their friends who tell their friends, and if you're good like you are, you business just booms. I know Hal started because he put an ad in a penny saver paper, like what, 20, 30 years ago that said, big or small, I do them all. Somebody with an IRS problem called him. Of course, then he fixed it. He told everybody who then that's how he started behind the scenes. And then I came along and it went, poof, took off. But that's great. Okay, so do you mainly do beach type of businesses, rentals and restaurants and
Yeah, I kind of have like a little bit of everything right now. Like I have like those. I have I have a restaurant. I have those, and I have some like service based. I have an Etsy store. I have some e-commerce.
oh, okay.
So, like I have like kind of like I'm like all over the place, and it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of fun to have different ones.
Now, do you have any employees that work for you?
No, I have a virtual assistant though who helps me like 10 hours a month, and she helps me with my social media and my email and
That's
anything else
great.
I ask her to do.
Great, yeah, because I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I can't figure out that LinkedIn to save my life. And if he asked me to post something on LinkedIn, I go, I don't know how to do. What do you? Sorry, I can't do it. So
We need to have a session, Deb. A
yeah,
session for
we'll have to
you.
talk to Dawn. She teaches me everything. So, what's your tech stack that you use?
So I use Financial Sense for my like project management, and I use Keeper for like the larger clients who have a lot of transactions and they need some better reporting than you can get in QuickBooks. But I mostly use Financial Sense, and it sends them what I like is the emails that Financial Sense sends tells them what they need to upload. Like oh, we need your bank statement. Where Keeper just sends you an email saying your account has questions.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I like about Financial Sense because it tells them all the things that I'm looking in their email before they, and so they can kind of like prepare. And I find I get better responses that way.
Does it work right within QuickBooks like Keeper does, where you could ask the question right within QuickBooks?
Yeah, it's an extra. It's like $4 a month, I think, and you can do like the uncategorized. That's
Okay.
the only thing it links with. It doesn't do anything else though.
I'll have to take a look at it because I've always used Keeper.
Hmm.
But I'll have to take a look at it because you say it's less expensive than Keeper is.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper depending on which plan you pick, but it depends how many clients you have as well.
Okay, great. And then you were telling us about this time management thing you took. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I do a lot of local networking in different groups, and this lady she gave like a talk in one of the groups I was in, and she has like a program called Time Management Academy, and she has like a 5 day um like challenge, and then from there she does like now she does like cohorts. I think she's doing the next one in September after some.
Okay.
And I did the one in January, and she would just give you all these different kinds of tips about how she manages her calendar.
Uh huh.
Because once after she had kids, she used to love like using a paper calendar. She's like, this doesn't work anymore because I got too many things going on. And so what she does, the thing I love about what she does is she teaches you to put everything in your Google Calendar. Even like say you need to make a doctor's appointment, she says, okay, on Tuesday at 10 a.m., you put call doctor to make appointment. Like so like your calendar's basically being your brain for you. Because we have too much stuff in our brains and we can't remember everything. And so like
Mm-hmm.
I started doing that. Like I even have recurring things that say download statements on the 5th or whatever, like stuff like that.
It's
And
amazing.
she
That's
has,
David Allen. David Allen was a speaker at Connect,
yeah.
and he has this getting things done, and he kind of uses that. You can only hold four things in your head
Mm-hmm.
and write everything down. I go, oh, I've been doing that because I do the same. I put everything on my calendar. Like call the
Right.
doctor, and then the other thing I do, like doctors, you got to do lab reports, and I scan them and I upload them to the appointments because then I have the paperwork right there.
Right. Yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah, because I just like to. I don't like to have to think about it. And what other tips did she give you? And she uses Google Calendar. She
Yeah,
recommends.
but it'll work with anything
Yeah.
really. And one thing in Google Calendar that she taught us is that the reminders, you can set it to default. So like every time you create a new event, it always has, okay, a reminder 1 hour before, 1 day before. I think you have up to five, I forget. But that's really helpful. And like I have mine connected to Alexa, and
Oh,
Alexa
okay.
and Alexa will tell you in 10 minutes you need to do this, and 10 or they'll tell you like what events you have. And I even put like working time, like work hours on it.
Okay. So like from 10 to 2, you're going to work and stuff like that.
Yeah, and she even says like I've even put like which clients I'm going to work on sometimes.
Cool. Yeah, and she offers this class for people to take.
Yeah, she offers it a couple times a year, but she has a lot of good content even if you just like follow
What's her
her
name?
online
Find
or
her.
her name is Laura Davis. I can give you the link and you can put it in the
Okay.
notes.
Yeah, I love anything with time management
Mhm.
calendars because the only thing we all have equal is time.
Mhm.
It's how we use it. How do you get so much done? Well, because I plan for it.
Right.
And of course, my busy time is right now. Today's July 1st, and I'm looking at my task list with all the sales tax. Plus, it's the end of the quarter.
Right.
So I wake up at 3 in the morning and I start checking off that list. Already got 5 sales tax returns done, 2 payroll reports out. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like checking things off the list. It's fun. So, what other tips did she give you?
Um
Is she a
uh,
bookkeeper, or is she just
no, that's what she did. She works I think in marketing. She still works in corporate America, but then she has like she does a lot of speaking, and she does like this time management thing, but her other thing is like on Fridays she does all her planning for the next week.
okay?
So like she has like this like long list of things. She's like, was there anything from this week that you didn't get done that needs to be moved? Like, and then she even has things where you like maybe put your meals in there, or doctor's appointments. Are there appointments you have to schedule? You can either do it then if it's open, or like she likes Friday afternoon because like she says Friday afternoon, by then no one has any brain energy to work, so it's like the perfect time.
Yeah.
By
I mean,
then like our brains are shut off, and it's like, but then like it's stuff's still open, so if you have to make an appointment call or something, you can call.
yeah, Friday afternoon, people are.
Right, because like in the
Mhm.
past, people always said on Sunday night you do your plan for the next week. Well, nothing's open on Sunday, but then it's almost too late because the week's practically started.
That's a great idea. You know,
Yeah,
I know I have on my calendar. I have this thing I call Tweak.io or something.
yeah, I downloaded it because I heard you talk about it. I
I
haven't
love it. I
used
mean,
it.
everything's on there. And I have on there "Make My Bed" because I
Yeah.
like, and then I do have a grandfather clock that needs to be wound or else it will stop. I have on there "Wind the Clock." So, so I do, wind the clock today, so it doesn't run out. So I have a lot of stuff on there, and then I really like it. So it just keeps me organized,
Yeah,
out in my head. Oh, I forgot this. I forgot. So if something pops up, I just stick it on that calendar. I won't forget.
right.
Because I think
And
that David Allen said that in that GTD. I met him, by the way. When I was
Yep.
cool.
I was going to go meet Donna for dinner, and walking down, and he's sitting there at the bar by himself. I sat right down. I talked to him for half an hour. It was great. Thinking, who else? I mean, the bar was full.
She doesn't tell me though. So
Huh?
like I could come down. You didn't even tell me, so I
I
could
was
come
so
down. Like
involved, and I'm just,
I know.
I didn't want to break the connection because I thought he might get up and walk away. But he was really nice. I'm thinking, wow. And of course, now I'm watching him on YouTube. But this guy's really a big shot,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I like time management to get stuff done. So I have to look at this Laura Davis. That sounds like a great tip. Anything else that she told you that you like?
No, that's mostly what it is, and she'll answer your questions and stuff like that, which
Oh,
is
is it a group? And now, is it a paid thing you take, or she does?
yeah, it's like a paid and it's like a group. It's like a group call, and the one I did only had like 6 people in it, so you could ask anything you wanted.
Wow.
And she had like a group chat. I think it was on Telegram. It's like a
Okay.
messaging app. She has like in there where
Mhm.
you can ask questions between calls.
Now we were talking earlier too, and about pricing. My favorite topic, about how we determine our price. And you mentioned the sheet that you had, and tell us about that. And now what you're doing.
Yeah, so when I first I
Sheet.
took a course and like they told us to like ask all these questions about like how many transactions and how many bank accounts and all these different things, which is really helpful, but it's a lot of information. And I felt like clients don't even know. I think half the time they were making stuff up or they were guessing or they just didn't know because I don't even know that about my own books. Like I'm not like going through my bank statements and counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I just kind of like I don't ask them that many questions. First of all the questions, the form was way too long. Nobody was filling it out, and so I just stopped doing that. I just ask like basic questions now, like why are you looking for a bookkeeper? Your name, your
Yeah.
website, and stuff like that. Because if I have their website, I can kind of figure out what they do,
Right.
and then because I felt like it was a barrier, and then I just kind of talk about some of those things when I do a discovery call.
Right. That's what Don and I do.
Yep. That's what I've been doing since day one because like those forms, I don't fill the forms out.
Right? Like
Every
I don't
year,
want
my
to.
accountant would send me like that tax organizer
Tax
thing.
Oh yeah.
organizer. Oh my God.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I mean, I know tax accountants send out these tax organizers,
Oh
and I remember they come with the tax software. So they put that takes last year's data and it puts it on the form, and then you put in the new numbers. And I remember I worked at a CPA firm, and the guy goes, "Why do I need you to do this if I fill the whole thing out?"
Right, I've heard that before.
yes.
Like people are like, if I'm going to fill all this information out, I can just stick it in TurboTax or whatever
Exactly.
program, do
Yes.
it myself.
I know Hal's never used it. What he does is he looks at last year's tax return and he says, "Okay, last year you had this. Where is it this year, Jim?" So he looks at last year's without having to go through that big paperwork monster. But some tax, I remember Ron Baker said Get rid of the tax organizer. Oh, they're terrible. And I thought,
Yes.
yeah, I've been doing that. I never liked them. But everybody's been doing them, so you do what you think the superstars are doing. Same
Right.
with the bookkeeping price list, because I've seen some of them, and I guess if they help you, they're okay. But I just always think of Disney World. Disney doesn't ask how many rides you're going to go on. Donna, when you went to Disney these past few days, did they ask you how many rides you're going to go on and all?
No. And they didn't give me a discount for the 2 hours we had to sit under a thing when a storm ran through.
Yeah, really?
Of the 30 minutes I waited in line for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Ride, and they closed the ride as we were getting up there. I get a discount. I didn't get a refund.
No, they don't. No, I mean, so what experience do you want to have? And what was the?
Yeah.
I saw on your Facebook the best thing was the People Mover. You got to go on that.
Yeah, I got to go on the People Mover. I got the Carousel of Progress. So I got bucket list. My bucket list is probably very different from others, but those are mine.
But they didn't ask that when Donna bought her ticket. They just say, "Let's have
No.
an experience in fun at Disney World."
Yeah.
But
Right.
we make this really onerous and ugly. I think with how we do stuff with all these pricing sheets and then I just think from a customer point of view, would a customer want to fill that out? So you thought that yourself, Beth, when you saw those. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think is the reason why people get afraid to not use it?
Because they don't want to like air their dirty laundry basically like when they like I think
Mhm.
that's why people avoid bookkeeping in general. It's like, oh, she's going to judge me because I haven't filed taxes in 10 years or because I spent too much money at Starbucks or whatever, and I'm like, we don't really care, like,
Yeah, they're just numbers.
right. We're just like throwing we just put everything where it should be and send you reports so you know where you're doing where
Exactly. Yeah. So you know what's going on, so you can make a decision if you want to keep going down this path or not. So at the end of your life, you go, "Gee, wonder why I have nothing." Well, because you
right.
spent all your money at Starbucks.
Right, and my big thing right now is I'm always talking about software because every app is like $10, $20 a month, which isn't a lot of money, but when you have 10 of them or 20, that's like $200 a month. So it's like I send a newsletter out every month, and like that's my one question: how much money are you spending on software, and are you using all of the things you're spending money on software? I once saw a lady on Instagram who was doing that, and she had two and three, four accounts for like Dropbox, and like she had multiple accounts for a lot of the software. And so her and her bookkeeper were like going through them all, and they had to like figure out what were the logins, and like they couldn't even get into some of them. It was like she's like, "Oh, this is a mess. Don't do what I did."
Right. Well, and that's a great point. I mean, if you go, like even for yourself, you go through and say, "Gee, I'm not using this anymore. What do I need it?" Or
Hmm.
like or maybe there's a better app out there that's less money. Now, I guess
Right.
a lot of times there's the change is difficult because you're used to doing
Mhm.
this. But gee, like, boy, if I made the change, I'll save $200.
Right.
You know, I know Don and I are very excited about digits and
Puzzle.
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 Digits and puzzle. Yep.
The new
AI
thing,
native accounting
native
software.
accounting
I'm very
software,
excited. Yep.
and it's cheaper than QuickBooks. If you have less than $5,000
But the
expenses done a month, it's no cost.
yep.
Wow.
But price is like not the shit. I mean, the driver for a lot of people is the price, but what can the software do for you that gives you the results you want? Like, there's a ton of softwares out there that are doing different things, but are you getting the result back? How many project trackers are out there, and are you getting the results back?
And the ones
And
that
that's
use it, that's
that's the one. It's like, does it work with your brain? Does it? Oh, there's also so many considerations. Do they make update? Are they staying current with technology? I mean, I let apps go because they don't stay current with technology. A new person drops in and like they're just doing it better.
all the
Hmm.
time.
So yeah, and it's all the time. So I'm constantly switching up and learning new things and new concepts. And it's about the concepts and theories. And it's all, I mean, it's all intertwined. Yeah, you got to learn a new software. But if you understand the concepts and theories, the new software is like you just have to learn the language and it doesn't
Right,
take that long.
right.
Right.
So I'm constantly switching things up to see like what's better, what'll get me to my end result faster, and my clients do it too. So
What's your end
yeah.
result, Donna?
My end result, spending like no time at all working. Getting things out of my brain so where I can find them. So
Right.
like my project managers, just less time, and then end up, can I do it from my phone?
Right.
That's where it all ends up for me. Can I do it from my phone? So every month I get better. So I would say every month. That's how fast I'm going now. Every month I figure out a new way to do something from my phone.
Wow. Her phone is like this big.
Oh, it's,
That's
you saw what I was doing during during the conference we were just at. I was making graphics and the YouTube descriptions for the YouTubes we were putting up.
yeah.
And
She's her phone.
yeah, now the last two I didn't because I was tired and
Right.
I got sick.
Right.
But I'll have those up shortly this week.
Yeah, because a
But yeah,
lot
I
of
did them right from my
you
phone
got this stuff
during.
already.
Yeah,
You know, she's
yep,
just, I would say genius. So
yeah,
what
and
other
someone.
apps? You use Financial Sense, you use this calendar thing. What other ones do you use? You use QuickBooks Online.
I use QuickBooks Online. Another cool app I use is called Text Expander,
Text.
and
Okay, how do you spell that?
Oh yeah.
text TEXT and then Expander EXPANDER.
Okay, what does that do?
It does it like you can create your own shortcuts. So
Uh
like
huh.
you can create like I have one that's like #1 and it puts in my name, types out my name.
Oh,
Or like I think there's like and inside of it they have ones that are like your whole email, your whole like all the emojis have different ones, and then you can create like phrases. So like I used to have one that's like BT for bookkeeping tips,
uh-huh.
and like when people were
Hmm.
asking for ideas, I was like, well, I would it was like my link, sign up here for bookkeeping tips for my email list. And like if you go to their webinars, they're even like even crazier. They'll have ones that are like a whole like email that's like this long with links and everything. But I mostly use it for like phrases I type all the time, like my name, my email address, sometimes certain banks that I'm like typing all the time, or
Now, is it an app on your phone?
yeah, it could be on your phone, your computer, wherever.
Okay, we have to check that out.
Yeah.
I check that. I like that.
I've been using it for a couple of years and it's really cheap. It's like $3 a month, or
Oh, really?
it's like nothing.
The old Corel Word Perfect did that eons ago. Somebody reinvented it, Teresa says. And Teresa says, big shout out to Beth Ann. She bailed me out with a client. So tell us about that. How do
Yeah,
you,
I took over one of her restaurant clients and she's like, I don't have time for this anymore. And I kind of like an expert in restaurants. And so I took it over from him and I still have him. And I took it over for her and I let her not have to deal with him and
now, where's this restaurant located?
in Miami.
Okay, because Teresa's in Florida too.
Yeah.
You know, so she's now in Inverness, right? Did I get that right? Teresa?
She isn't going to talk back to you here, but maybe in the chat we'll get it.
Okay, text expander. Okay, I'm writing all this stuff down. These are great. What other ones do you use?
Um, I don't know what else I use like LastPass, like some of those like,
Password protector.
password things, and um, QuickBooks Online, and um, Right Tool, of course. Everyone uses
Oh,
Right Tool.
that's like a given. I mean, Right Tool. I mean, where would we be without Right Tool?
No.
You go to a client that does like QuickBooks Online, and you're sitting there, and they don't have Right Tool.
Yeah, or I use like sometimes I have to use like incognito window, and I
Uh-huh.
don't have it in there.
I went to a client yesterday. Client called me yesterday, still on desktop payroll, and he needed to report. He could not. He's tech. What did he call himself? Tech tarded.
That's a good one.
He could not figure out how to start the Zoom, so he did it on his phone, and he's holding the phone up to his computer, moving it like, okay, click there, click this, export that, do this, and then I exported it to Excel. Turns out he doesn't have an Excel license. I said, "How are you going to do this with no Excel license?" So then I said, okay, do this, record it, now copy it, open up Google Sheets. What's Google Sheets? Oh my God. He
This is
said,
my day.
yeah.
That sounds like my day.
He's going, boy, you're really good at data manipulation. Yeah. I mean, when you got to get the tools, man. I don't know how you do it when you don't have the tools.
I don't know. It makes it harder.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, but I think he's typical.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he very much is.
I think, and he
I've had
works
a
for
few.
an owner, and the owners don't want to spend the money because they think, what do you need that for? I'm married to one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need
I
that
work.
Like when I bought that app, that Dext app for Dext e-commerce, it cost
Mm-hmm.
$239 a year. And it sucks in all the eBay transactions he does. And Hal says, you could go just, enter them one by one. There aren't that many. I'm not doing that. Don't forget, yeah, but it costs $200. I'm not doing that. He doesn't. They don't get it.
No.
So I've just learned it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
Right.
So I
Yep.
always tell the app developers, I want to pay you annually because then my husband only walks into my office once a year instead of every month. I have Smart Vault for like 20 years, and every month the bill hits, and he goes, "What's this Smart Vault?" I go, "Don't you remember from last month? What's that for?" Go away. Always talking about me. I know. I'm always talking about him. Come on, say hi to everybody. He has his clothes on today.
Oh, thank God.
Hello, everybody.
Oh.
You never know what's going to happen here on Bookkeepers on Fire. Well, so you do the bookkeeping. What else, Beth? Do you like to work? What do you do for fun?
My husband and I, we like to go see plays, like musicals. We do that. We see like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 a year.
Great. Now, do you go to Orlando? Do you go to Jacksonville? Where do you see in August?
We go to our local like community theater. They're actually doing Hairspray next month.
Oh, wow.
And then we go with in Jacksonville. There's like a dinner theater. It's like the #1 dinner theater in the country, which I don't know how many there are. So, okay,
It could be the only one left.
I know. But they like tell that like their thing on their signs, and they do a really great show. Like you get dinner, and then they do a show. They're doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's like the next one
Cool.
they're doing.
Now, Cindy Schrader loves musicals. She flies to Broadway to see them.
Yeah, I've never seen one on Broadway, but I've seen like the tours and like local, because it's good to support like the local arts and
I
the
like
local community.
I think we should do a Bookkeeping Buds trip to Broadway. What do you think of that?
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'd go.
I'll do it.
Yeah, let Cindy.
Cindy can pay. I'm just kidding.
We'll just show up. So you like to do plays, and you're married. Do you have any children?
No, we don't have any children.
What do you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you always lived in St. Augustine?
No, I actually grew up in New York City, and then when I was like a teenager, we moved to Texas, and then I've lived here since 2011.
Oh, okay. What made you come here?
Oh, okay.
My mom got a job here, and so I was like only in my 20s. I wasn't really working, and so I had just graduated college, and so I just moved with her, and so I've been here since.
And that's where you met your husband?
Yes.
Okay. What's he do?
He's worked in hospitality. He's actually right out of work right now, and he's trying to figure out what he wants to do next.
Well, it's a good thing that you kind of can support him while he figures it out.
Right.
Maybe have him work for you until he figures it out.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, teach him some stuff. Yeah, there you go.
That's great. Well, we're pretty much at the half hour. This wasn't as bad as you thought, was it, Beth Ann?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, she was a nervous seller. I mean, she kept, I don't know if I can do this. I said, yeah, you can. It's just 3 girls talking.
Yeah.
You were great.
We don't know each other. We're good.
Yeah, this is great. And Teresa was in the chat, and Kelly. Thank you, Kelly and Teresa, for joining us in the chat. So, anything else you want to talk about, or one last words of inspiration, Beth Ann, for everybody?
No, just like if you love what you do, it's not like you don't feel like you're working, because that's how I feel every day.
I know.
I really love numbers. I've always loved math, and so
That's great.
I think it's a great job for me.
Well, we are so happy that you joined us today. And anything else, Donna, you want to share?
No, just one last thing. You have any exciting projects you're working on right now?
No, I'm thinking about making like an open office hours because I get a lot of Q&A questions, and I've thought about doing like a set
Ooh,
time.
Okay.
I've thought about doing it for a
that's
while, and
kind
I
of
just
cool.
yeah, because I do an Ask Me Anything sessions, but like I
Hmm.
want something more maybe like scheduled like the last Friday of the month or something.
Yeah, do it right before you do your planning thing on Friday.
Right.
There you go. And let's see that new logo
Right,
too.
how's your new logo?
Your Crunch Bar
Yeah, like
is
so I have
pretty
a new
cool.
logo, and I have ChatGPT came up with it, so I just copied it.
Nice.
So that's like my new thing, like crunch number. And this is a crunch bar inside.
Oh, yeah, I want one.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna need you
I'd
for that.
mail you one, but it would melt in the
Yeah, I know.
mail.
I know it would not be good when it got to
The next
me.
time I come to St. Augustine, I'll stop by and pick one up.
There
Well, I
we
live
go.
right in downtown, so if you need a parking spot.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Not easy, you know.
No, we used that garage a lot when we were there.
Hmm.
All right, so
All
anything else,
right,
Donna?
we're all good.
We're all
Yeah.
good. All right.
All
Well,
right.
Beth Ann,
So glad you could join us.
Thank
thanks.
you for having me.
All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.